an England cap to his name too, and that just shows the sort of level of talent that comes out of the Championship. And Gould, being a brand new club with already really making an impression on the Challenge Cup this season, another great example of the production line.
Yeah, I actually played with James at Featherstone and saw the progression that he made from playing from Batley to Featherstone, and now obviously coming to Warrington and an England cap. So yeah, there's certainly a lot of good players in the Championship, and Super League clubs should look to them more to get an opportunity.
Yeah, so crowd really starting to fill up here at the Halliwell-Jones Stadium. Remember, Warrington technically away from home today, but yeah, unfortunately for this Gould side, who coming out onto the pitch now, not quite able to be playing at home in this match. And we obviously said before, Brett, we've mentioned with Scott Taylor as well pre-match that it is a shame that Gould aren't at home today, but it is another chance to really make an impression on a Super League ground as well. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, obviously we're disappointed that we couldn't host the game. Obviously our new stand's up and getting built now at the minute, and we unfortunately have a capacity of 950, so we'd have probably filled that out pretty quick. And but yeah, I think the game day experience of coming to the Halliwell-Jones Stadium, playing obviously a very good Super League team, and getting the club and the fans behind it, and it's a great help for the boys and their family as well to come out here, experience it, and see what it's all about.
So Jack Miller will get us underway in this match for the Gould Vikings. Already teams through to the last 8 of the Challenge Cup. Wakefield and Wigan beating Leeds and Bradford respectively last night, and York also well on their way to the last 8 as well, with that a big win over Keighley just earlier on today. Just swapping sides here ahead of kick-off at the Halliwell-Jones Stadium. So Gould to go from left to right in this first kick-out of the match. And obviously the win over Halifax, the comeback win, Brett, was really built on that defensive solidity. And is that sort of been the message in camp sort of this week, about how knowing that there's going to be potentially a lot of spells in the match where Gould don't have the ball for a fair length of time?
Yeah, it's both sides of the game, innit? You've got to defend really well, but also attack when you get your opportunities. And certainly we have a lot of good players in that Warrington team that we're certainly going to have to scramble and work hard. As Jack Miller goes off for a short kick-off.
Jack Miller gets a shot kick-off, and it is taken by Gould. So a good start. First possession for Keenan Tomlinson, the man who scored the decisive try in that round 3 win over Halifax, as Connor Barley straight onto the attack, and Gould already 30 metres out from Warrington's try line, so a fantastic platform to build from, as Watts goes to Medlicott, and still Wolves' third tackle. Coming to the right again, Watts again, first receiver, handing it on. Rutland out the back, Gusdek handing it on, but tackled in the corner is Callum Shaw. So Gusdek plays at dummy half, hands it on again. Savelio, former Warrington man, spent 1 season here in 2017 and earned a move to the Brisbane Broncos in the NRL off the back of it. So going to the right again, Miller kicking to the corner, pressure potentially being applied there, but Tomlinson, and it's, I think, Jake Thewlis there who takes possession and wraps it up. So Warrington coming out of their own end here, but a good start from the Vikings, and don't think many would have expected a short kick-off here, but is that a signal of Gould's intent right from the off here, Brett?
Yeah, I think they need to throw a little bit of caution to the wind, and maybe a few little trick plays here and there. A nice little kick-off there from Jack Miller, and obviously regathered there by Tomlinson. A good set in a good position, and turned off the ball pretty well there. So yeah, they'll be certainly delighted with that start.
Yeah, Gould keen to keep Warrington penned into their own end here, but they're going to come out once again through Josh Smith, and then the early kick from Ewan Irwin, not much in the way of distance on it, and it is Cooper Howlett straight back on the ball. So Gould about 5 metres in from their own half, but a really positive start from the Vikings. Barley again looking to take those early carries in this set and getting Gould back over halfway. So once again a chance to lay an attacking platform for the visitors as Aldu takes the ball into contact. We've already seen Watts first receiver and Miller as well. We've already seen what Miller can do in this game, and he's really going to be a key if Gould are to sort of keep Warrington in the arm wrestle here. Yeah,
they'll certainly rely on Jack and Callum Rutland in the half to obviously create that kicking game, and hopefully for the big boys like Callum, like Liam Watts and Harry Medlicott to set that platform for a good kick and chase on the back of it.
So Rutland tackled, Watts hands it on, last tackle still for Gould as Miller tries a little chip over the top. Irwin giving chase, but it is wrapped up almost by the Gould half-back, and there is Tomlinson to finish the job for the Vikings. So still in possession. Warrington turning it over, and it's a good shot there. Good Liam Watts, big contact there. We've seen plenty of that in Super League going down the years. As Warrington again looking to come out of their own end, slipping off a few tackles there is Jake Thewlis. Walker keen to get this ball moving quickly as Harrison wrapped up by Watts. And I'll do for the Vikings. So Warrington still trying to get their way out of their own half, yet to cross the halfway line, the Wolves, as Gould really doing a good defensive job here in the early stages of this match. And once again, it's back to Irwin. So Williams yet to kick 2 from 2 kicks coming from Irwin, but it's allowed to bounce. So Gustek going to have work to do here. Good chase coming from Warrington. Wrapped up by 3 wire men is the Gould Vikings fullback. But once again, coming out of their own end, that is Howlett bringing it out. So the outside backs, plenty of hands on the ball, but then a knock on spotted in the ruck, and a solid start to the game from Gould. Ends with a little error there, just a slight drop of the ball in the ruck there. So disappointing, but it's taken a mistake, Brett, for Warrington to finally get possession in this Gould half, which just shows the defensive effort that's gone in so far.
Yeah, I think a really good start there from Gould. 2 out of 2 sets, nice finishes on the end of the kicks, and really limited the go forward from Warrington there. So yeah, obviously now it's a test of the defence and see how they are.
So quickly moved on. Williams, first real hands of possession. Albert Hopuati, former Canberra Raider in this Warrington side. He's going to be one of the potential danger men as Ewan Smith wrapped up by Watts again. Watts really making his impact felt in the early stages of this match. Hands are going to Crowther, going there to Williams. Williams short onto Josh Thewlis, who comes back on a good line and dots down under the sticks. So opening up the Gould defence for the first try in this match. 5 minutes in almost, and it is Warrington who go in first, leading 4 points to 0 as that Gould defence just unravels at the wrong time, Brett, after a really solid start.
Yeah, we're really disappointed with that. I think Andre Civilio's there.
Coming to the Halliwell Jones Stadium in Warrington.
The play from Bentley there, but yeah, no doubt it was a very good play out the back, and obviously Fearless with her fast feet, cuts on the inside, and unfortunately not worked hard enough there. So George Williams gets into the line really well. So one-on-one miss there from Rutland, and Fearless
Fearless moving off his usual wing into the full-back spot in the absence of Kai Taylor-Ray, and yeah, just the dummy and the speed and just that sliding Gould defence, which is, like we've already mentioned, done really well to wrap up Warrington's attacks so far, just unable to cut inside enough to wrap up the Warrington fullback there, and it will be Irwin rather than Williams to line up the conversion here. And he adds the 2, so Warrington going to a 6-0 lead about 5.5 minutes into the contest here at the Halliwell Jones Stadium on Clubber TV. Irwin, we were about to mention just before Thewlis went in for that try, the pressure that's been put on Irwin in the first few sets by the Gould defence is obviously something that's going to need to keep up there, but you could maybe see the sort of foundation for that try came from allowing that second kick from Irwin to bounce, and obviously Gould sort of were finally penned in their own end there, and then it came up with the mistake. Yeah,
that's it. I think from a decent kick pressure and a decent set there from Gould, but probably catching it on the full and a bit able to get back up there, but probably the error there from Cooper Howlett just gives Warrington an opportunity, and Jack Miller goes for a short kick-off again.
Another short kick-off. Is this one going to come off for the Vikings? It's tapped back in by Tomlinson again, and once again Gould keeping possession from the kick-off, so really effectively working these short kick-offs is Jack Miller, and again right on the front foot of the Vikings, 20 metres out from the line already, and we're only 2 tackles into the set as Watts acts as first receiver once again. Been really lively so far. Liam Watts makes a few extra efforts, being put on his back by 2 Warrington defenders. Again, quick ball there for Jalen Hodgson to run, and he gets to within 5 of the Warrington line. So Watts will play dummy half and hands it on once again to Medlicott there, who is wrapped up. Last tackle coming for the Vikings here. Miller going to the boot once again. Has options to aim for in the corner. It's Cooper Howlett who gets there and darts down. A fantastic take in the air from the Gould Vikings centre, making error at the other end, but coming up with an absolutely sensational take in the air, and it is Gould about to potentially be level with a kick to come. Absolutely brilliant, that, Brett.
Yeah, great start. Obviously getting the ball back on the restart, working the way up into the middle channel, and then obviously it's a big man and a little man, and Cooper Howlett's quite a big man at 6'4", 6'5", and just gets over him and scores a lovely try there. And
yeah, it's a fantastic take in the air. We see the kick again, once again, off the boot of Jack Miller, causing Warrington so many problems so far. And yeah, getting above both Smith and Jake Thewlis there. Cooper Howlett, we obviously the knock on there, which led to the the try from Josh Thewlis, but he's more than made up for it there.
Yeah, he's certainly made up for it there. Obviously, we're really gutted with that one at the play of the ball there, but it sometimes happens, and that's what happens probably on your first sort of really carries, and probably a little bit of nerves there for Coops, but he's certainly come back there well.
Yeah, so an instant response from the Vikings as Miller lines up this conversion following that try assist for a sensational take in the air from Cooper Howlett, and Miller does add the extras. So it's 6-all, 8 minutes in, and we have certainly got a Challenge Cup tie on our hands here. Gould not lying down whatsoever. We've already seen some pretty physical defence led by Liam Watts, and Cooper Howlett there, as we mentioned, making up for the mistake at the other end and dotting down with a spectacular finish. And pressure once again now on Warrington to try and make a response of their own. Do you fancy another short kick-off here, Brett?
I don't think Warrington will be doing a short kick-off, mate. They'll be kicking long, hard and deep and chasing like hell here.
Yeah, Jake Thewlis and the chase, as you just mentioned there, is coming on as Medlicott brings the ball into contact. Short on his own 10 there. Harrison involved, as is Crowther, and so Gould in possession, looking to come out of yardage, completing a set in their own half for the first time in this match potentially. So all about completing here, with Watts taking the ball, a bit of a shot drop off, running back into traffic. The veteran, two-time winner of the competition, but another knock on coming out of their own end from Gould. So yeah, questions of a potential strip on the ground there from Watts, who is still trying to let the referee
not happy
know.
with it, is he?
Yeah,
What's certainly not happy. He's speaking to Tara Jones now about the decision. He didn't think that was a knock on. Clearly a bit of a pull there. We're not seeing it back, but yeah, really disappointing there for the Gould Vikings.
Yeah, no captain challenges or video refs, unfortunately for Gould on this occasion, but Warrington will take that decision all day long as Williams takes the ball into contact. Still not quite wrapped up, but Gould defenders on hands. One of them once again, Liam Watts, as comes to the right now. James Bentley back in the side, but injured and absent since the 34-6 win over Sheffield Eagles here, so he'll be looking to really make an impression on his first season at Warrington, as they ship the ball to the right again. Hopewati out wide to Lachlan Webster, the debutant. He'd certainly love a try in his first Warrington match, but he's wrapped up just short of the line. But still Warrington with tackles in the bag. Ships on wide. Crowther again. Williams, space to his left-hand side. Ships out wide to Jake Thewlis. Jake Thewlis for the corner, and he will score. So Warrington hit back once again. Try giving a spectacular finish from the corner, as we've come to expect from Super League sides this season. And once again there, Brett, just the sort of pressure telling and really sort of making use of the first possession in the half to punish Gould following that mistake at the play of the ball.
Yeah, what I would say, 2 errors, 2 tries, and it's very difficult to back that up. A great shift to the right hand side, which was closed out really well by Connor Barley and Jack Miller on the sliding defence there, but coming back on this left side, John Williams digs into the line and got a lead going through. Great ball out the back, and a lovely finish there from Thewlis. Acrobatic is the one by the looks.
Yeah, so the two Thewlises on the score sheet for Warrington so far. George Williams there with the ball over the top, and you know, that's the sort of moments of quality that we've come to expect from this Warrington side, particularly given the start they've made this season. Yeah,
you can certainly see they like to throw the ball about, and they're very good at it. They've got some great players within the middle who can play with the ball. They're the forwards, and then the likes of George Williams. He knows what he's doing. He's got that short option. He's got out the back, and he's got that long looping ball over the top as well. Probably Gould's defence were a little bit tight there, and giving opportunity to Thewlis, who's clearly took it with both hands.
So Ewan Irwin from the sideline, much more difficult kick than the first, but no worries whatsoever for the Warrington Wolves youngster. So Irwin makes it 12 points to 10, 12 minutes in here at the Halliwell Jones Stadium. So I think we're on for a high-scoring contest here, Brett Ferris. I was just going to mention there, we spoke to Scott Taylor pretty much about sort of the impact that Warrington have made with the rule changes, with the speeding up of rucks. How, as a part-time team, given Warrington have started so well and adapted to the rules so quickly, how as a part-time team do you go about sort of coping with that, knowing that they're they've really adapted to the rule changes?
We've got to stay tight as a group. I think defensively we've got to stay really tight. We've got to win the initial collision, and then off the back of that be able to control the likes of Danny Walker getting out of there. Jack goes for a short kick off there again. So
third,
not this time.
Third time unlucky at the short kick-offs from Jack Miller. So Warrington taking possession about 35 metres in, but then a penalty for offside, and that is something Gould can ill afford, having just conceded. So Warrington straight on the front foot, and Irwin kicking wide, so it'll be a penalty for the wire about 25 metres out from the goal try line here, and they're really going to have to front up in defence now, the Vikings.
Yeah, you can just see from that try there that Warrington got a little bit of a sniff here, and they've seen the error there, and then obviously a penalty, and they was running down there to get it kicked in straight away and try and play on the front foot.
Yeah, Harrison with a big run up there, but he's driven back in the tackle. Questions of a second effort there, and a 6 again coming as well, so even more tackles in the bag for the Y here as Ewan Smith takes the ball into contact. It's Luke Thomas, in fact, with Walker shipping it on wide. Irwin again, they're creating presence. Williams looking to step his way through and looking for a gap, but Bentley can't quite take it. Had the line at his mercy, the former Leeds man, and just unable to take possession there, with the knock-on coming in goal as well. So it will be a tap 20 and wasting no time whatsoever. So Gould a chance to come out of yardage once again, with making good meters there. Callum Shaw once again, and now Gould, is this sort of the objective here, Brett, to sort of try and get to a kick? Obviously we've seen the last two coming out of yardage sets have resulted in errors which have then directly led to Warrington tries, so it's just a case of heads down here and trying to get to the kick, which Miller is going to do right now, but it is charged down.
Yeah, I think the general idea would have been to get to end of the set, get a nice kick down there and have a bit of a restart, but they've gone for an early kick, and I didn't see who it was there who's come out and charged it down, but now they're under the pump a little bit here as goal, and it's just getting a little bit quick for him. Yeah,
Warrington's tails up, as you mentioned. Bentley there playing the ball, handing it on quickly. Williams on to Smith, and Smith will slide straight over dummy and Guzdeck. And Josh Smith, signed from the Brisbane Tigers in the off-season, ducks down for a third Warrington Wolves try. So 15 minutes in to this Challenge Cup tie, and it is the Wolves now opening up a 14-point lead here, and they will soon be 10-point lead, in fact, soon be 16-6 up, with a kick to come under the six. And mentioned already, Brett, sort of you give the Wolves a sniff, and they're gonna really take it for what they can, and now trying to exploit the gaps appearing in this goal defence.
Yeah, I think you saw the set before there. Jones Williams getting to the line, bumped a couple off, skips across the line, and obviously shows a short ball there to Bentley, which he dropped it there, but turning the ball over in your own 40 there, it's cardinal sin, and they just get an opportunity there, and a really good side, and they're well structured and they know what they're doing, obviously with Sam and Steve McNamara there, and a couple of poor efforts there in defence on this right hand side, and you allow good players time and space, and unfortunately that's what happens.
Yeah, we've seen the early stages of the match, what Gould doing really well to keep Warrington pinned into their own area, but it's coming out of their own area that they've really sort of let themselves down, and it's where those errors have come from once again, with the kick being charged down there. Yeah,
we spoke about it before, two errors and 2 tries, and now obviously a charge down kick and the ball back, and you give a good side a field position and the opportunity, and they're certainly going to take it at this level.
And Ewan Irwin takes the chance once again off the tee. 3 successful kicks in a row for Warrington's number 18, making it 18 points to 6 here at the Halliwell Jones. So work to do for Gould Vikings as they come back. Miller, another potential shot kick up on the cards here. We've already seen it work and obviously lead to a try, Brett, but is it now a chance for them? They're going to potentially want to try and re-establish that defensive steal at the right end of the pitch from their perspective.
I'll let you know in 10 seconds when Jack's kicked this ball. I'm unsure what he's thinking, but they've gone long now, obviously a couple of tries, and they'll chase hard here, and obviously it's a bit of a different tactic, and hopefully they keep it bare down this side of the field.
So Luke Thomas backing up, breaking off a couple of tackles, so that's not the start to the set that Gould would have wanted from a defensive point of view, but Harrison again taking the ball into contact, so already up to the 30, the wire. Gould's early defence sort of potentially starting to drop off a little bit as Williams looks for a gap that just runs into more Gould Viking shaped traffic. So again at the play of the ball, Irwin looking to take the ball to the line, but then wrapped up by Jalen Hodgson there. So Walker again handing it on. Josh Thewlis looking to get the offload away, but just unable to find Harrison. 6 more tackles coming though for Warrington. That's not an ideal situation from Gould's perspective, so having worked so hard already, got to set up again for basically another set of 6 in defence. As Williams hands it on the inside to Bentley. Bentley really looking to make his impact felt and hands it on once again to Walker. Now Harrison Again, almost gone the length of the field in the course of these two back-to-back sets, the Wolves. Walker shaping left, going right, handing it back on the inside. Good defence right on their line from Gould. And a knock-on on the deck, so exactly forcing the error. Gould, exactly what they wanted to do in this area of the pitch, and having weathered a pretty heavy storm with Warrington going from one end to the other. That's a perfect outcome in defence and the ideal reward for the effort they put in so far, Gould.
Yeah, it's been really good there from the Gould Vikings. It's the first time they've been able to back up a set there, so really good resilience on their own line, and a good second effort in the tackle there from Andre Cervello forces an error, and Gould will be really relieved with that. I mean, they've been under the cosh for the last 5 or 6 minutes, and a bit of a relieving one there where they can hopefully knock a set off now and finish at the right area of the field.
It's Geordie Crowder looking pretty ginger as he went back into that scrum, so potential area there for Gould to target as Tomlinson brings the ball out the back, and then a knock-on given from the very first tackle of that.
You just can't allow a team to just do this on your own line all the time.
Yeah, it's
very surprised if it don't end up in a try, this one again.
Yeah, it's Gould really not doing themselves any favours whatsoever coming out of yardage of themselves. We're yet to really see a sort of complete set of 6 where Gould have been able to get to a kick, and when you've got a player like Miller, who we know we've already seen can really put the ball on a sixpence in terms of his kicking, it's that sort of does that need to be the game plan now, just sort of making sure you're trying to turn this Warrington side around and not coming up with the errors that are gifting them possession?
Yeah, definitely. Scott Taylor, we're getting the message out there now to start knocking some sets off, and both set for set, because when Gould Vikings were going set for set, they looked really good and they was giving themselves some opportunities, but Fearless out the back here now, and
Fearless there again. Can he be wrapped up? Williams handing on Fearless, almost weaving his way through, but just wrapped up on the line by Gustek, not quite able to take these opposite number into touch as Bentley, another carry. Watts quickly in there to try and shut down the offload from the Irish international. Walker again hands it on, as does Harrison, as does Crowder. Ewan Irwin looking to take on the line. Dummies, but not quite able to get through as Walker coming back against the grain. Onto Harrison, an interception from Liam Watts. This could be absolutely
run, Forrest, run.
This could be absolutely brilliant. Watts getting Gould up to the 40. The ball comes free, but it is play on, so Gould still in possession.
Massive wrap.
What a turnaround there. Conor Barley bringing the ball away. Yeah, there's no more inspiring play from that, particularly from a prop.
That's just what they needed at the right time there. Watts comes up with an intercept, runs 40 metres, and just puts Gould in a really good position now, and you'll just see the tails lift a bit more energy with the carries and stuff like that, and a big player needed at a big time.
Yeah, the Gould Vikings exactly back where they want to be, as hands it on short, Miller to Tomlinson, but the forward pass given, and yeah, just slightly overrunning that kid. Tomlinson, obviously such a key player in that win over Halifax. He's been key so far in this match too, Brett, but it's like you said, they're getting back where they want to be in an inspiring play, but once again just unable to execute where it matters.
Yeah, I just think the consistency of Gould is just letting them down a little bit. They've had some really good plays and some really good moments within the match already, but just the inability to back it up and be a little bit ruthless in that, and carry it on and get to the end of the set, so the likes of Jack Miller and Rutland can come in to kick and put it where they want to.
Is that potentially a question of overplaying as well, because having started so well then gone behind, and knowing that they had to come back from behind against Halifax too, is that potentially weighing on their minds too?
I just think of Paul few errors, if I'm honest. Go up at the play of the balls and a forward pass like that, and it just kills you. And like I say, against a really good side like Warrington, they'll just eat that up, and they'll be happy to obviously all that pressure will just relieve a little bit, and then it's back in defence now, isn't it?
Yeah. Gould back in their own half with defensive work to do, as Watts once again involved at the tackles. Williams looks to scoot in behind the ruck and does so, kicks ahead for Smith. Will the ball sit up kindly for him? No. Almost getting the bounce, but just unable to reel it in there. Josh Smith so close to a second try, but the eyes at rugby there from Williams, sneaking in behind the ruck there and opening Gould up once again.
Yeah, you could just see there George Williams sat on the left hand side of it, got a 4-on-4, and he just saw the A defender a little bit wide there, and the markers weren't set too good, and just picked the spot, and I think he's probably been better off running there and playing a bit as opposed to kicking, but yeah, it just shows what George has got in his arsenal there.
Yeah, so Gould back in possession, and it doesn't feel like long since we were in this exact position, Brett, and obviously we saw what happened with the mistake off the first tackle, and it is Tomlinson bringing the ball into contact again. So already improvement on that last set as we go left again to Barley, who's really not been afraid to bring it out of contact. Will Jubb off the bench as well, looking to run for the Vikings. So already making a much better impression on this Warrington defence out of this set. Goal Vikings. That's Jack Aldu on as well for the home side. So Tomlinson again looking to take the ball into contact and an offload, allowed to play on Will Jubb again. Looking to spot a gap, tap down there potentially, but the ball still comes free for goal. 6 again as well, so back to the one for the Vikings here. So a good attacking platform from which to base this next attack. Miller in possession, hands it on to Watts. Bentley met him there, coming off second. It's Crowther in fact, but then the reefed out on the deck, says Tara Jones. So Gould getting the call that time, and Watts once again, he's been everywhere so far, Brett.
Yeah, he's been great there on Watts. He started the game really well. He's leading from the front. I think a really good set there from Gould Vikings. Straight up, they've made 60-70 metres. They've had no issues getting forward with the big boys in the outside backs. They'll put themselves in a really good position up and keep hold of the ball now. Yeah, Will Jubb really looking to inject a bit more pace around the ruck, as well as it's handed on short to Savelio. How he'd love a try against his former club, but it's called back forward. So the pass off Rutland there, not quite sticking, and it called forward. But once again, Gould really showing they can play and go toe-to-toe with this Warrington defence, but just once again coming unstuck right where they needed it not to. Yeah, just the moments where you need to make it count, and just not being able to in a couple of instances there. But like I said, the pleasing thing that they've come off their own 10 there. They've ended up with 2 sets up in Warrington's 10, and giving themselves a chance when they get up there, but they're certainly not executing. A couple of forward passes. I think Watts was down there a little bit there, so that's a little bit worrying for us, but I think if we keep with the ball 50-50 and give ourselves opportunity here, there's certainly some chances for us. Fresh legs coming off the bench as well for the Vikings, with Andre Savelio playing scrum half. That's an interesting positional change from former Warrington man, but he'd certainly love a try today against his former club, wouldn't he? He would, yeah. He's been great for us as Dre. Obviously he's on loan from Doncaster. He's not been playing there. He's come over to us. He's really bought into what we're doing, and obviously to play against Warrington now, he's really looking forward to this one. So Warrington also making changes. That's a penalty given against Jalen Hodgson.
Against Jalen Hodgson. Then Max Wood coming
up here.
Yeah, Max Wood coming off the bench and winning the penalty. Rip out in the tackle from Jalen Hodgson. But yeah, both sides starting to make changes now, and that's going to sort of inject a bit of uncertainty as well, isn't it? We've already seen Will Jubb plenty of pace around the ruck, but obviously it's in defence now where it needs to count for goal. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Jubby's obviously come on at 9 there. He's great around there. Got some very good deception. Jack Arnold's joined the fray as well, so a bit more in the middle, and certainly a few big boys there now for Warrington in the middle. Yeah, Crowther handing it on to Williams out the back again. Josh Thewlis again looking to find some space, wrapping round from fullbacks, really settled in to the position quickly as his brother at dummy half there. Jake onto Williams again, hands it on to James Bentley. So Gould's defence holding firm at the moment, but it's on their own line once again as Walker goes short to think that's Max Wood, who might have crashed his way up from close range, and a try is given by Tara Jones. So it is, yeah, Wood off the bench. Instant impact made, winning that penalty following the strip by Jalen Hodgson on halfway, and he backs it up with a try. Warrington's 4th of this match, and they go into a 22 points to 6 lead with a kick to come. And we've already seen Gould's defence on the line be pretty resolute there, Brett, but it's just a case of potentially one tackle too many there. Yeah, I just think within that 10 there, it's way too quick. You get a bit of a quick play of the ball there, and then a bit of collision and a bit of movement there around the 9 area. Danny Walker jumps out, and it's a simple try there for Wood, a well-worked try, but yeah, I think they'll be disappointed with that one goal. Yeah, we just get a second look at that, using the post to his advantage there. Max Wood, and just too big, too strong and too low in particular for the Gould Vikings to keep out there. But again, it's another chance for potential bounce back here, and it's also potentially the first try that they've really had to work for. Obviously there was the penalty strip there, but it's a penalty rather than an error from Gould coming out of their own end. Yeah, I think we certainly showed some glimpses there within what we're doing, that we're doing it well. Like I say, I think consistently we're not doing it well enough for longer periods, but when we go set for set with Warrington, we're looking half decent here, and unfortunately it's just them errors that are creeping in and stuff, and field position. Like I say, once down here, Danny Walker and George Williams are taking control, and you can just
just seen a little bit of difference in class there. Alex Allstock here now coming and entering the fray for us just to freshen that middle up.
Yeah, so hoping for a big impact. The Vikings, Irwin adding the 2 as well. So Warrington 4 from 4 off the tee so far, nearly 24 points to 6, about 25 minutes into a first half, which has absolutely flown by so far, which is a sign of the quality of rugby we've seen so far. Gould certainly not letting Warrington off the hook easily. As another short kick-off from Miller. Is this one going to sit up kindly? No, but it is taken in the air by the debutant for Warrington, Lachlan Webster. So not seen much of him so far, the young man on debut. It's been more shipping it back to the left, Warrington, through the Thewlis brothers in particular, but a chance for them to really start moving as Torfa forward. Sipley off the bench as well, making his impact felt and quickly getting the ball on to the try scorer, Max Wood. Still not down, Max Wood. Breaking through another pair of tackles.
It's been a very good Wood since he came on.
Tyler Craig got him by the shirt, but yeah, really mixing things up in that middle area of the pitch as Thewlis again first receiver for the Wire, who are about 10 out from the Gould Vikings line here as Walker hands it on again to Geordie Crowther, who is getting close and scoring. So Warrington going quickly set for set, and within 6 tackles of that last try for Max Wood, it is Geordie Crowther crashing his way over from close range off the back of another Danny Walker offload. And we mentioned following the last try, Brett, the sort of impact around the ruck that Williams and Walker in particular are making, and what he's having a bit of a field day at the moment, Danny Walker. Yeah,
I just think he's getting too quick. He's getting way too quick around that sort of middle third of the field. And yeah, Danny Walker stepping out there. He's got some big boys running onto the ball now. Wood's made a big impact since he's been on, but just getting too quick for him there. And I don't think the Gould boys were back there. And unfortunately, Geordie Crowder just crashes over for a simple one, really.
Yeah, it's another we mentioned, obviously, the new rules and sort of the benefit that gives you if you're a playmaker as well. And obviously, Geordie Crowder, he's a back row by trade, but he's just as capable as you may have thought he'd be handing the ball on there, but he goes himself.
Yeah,
he's able to crash over.
It's difficult with the new rules. I think the interpretation from obviously probably Tara now to what we've had referenced before is probably different. It makes things a lot quicker. Obviously, all the emphasis on the attacking side, and it does make it tough, especially when you're defending one set and then another set after making errors and giving away a back-to-back set and stuff. So yeah, it's certainly a difficult period this. So we'll be looking forward to. I'm hoping to kick long here, chase hard, and keep them away from the try line this one.
Yeah, we mentioned obviously the fresh legs now that Gould have brought on. It's a chance for them to front up in defence, because that's arguably where they've been most effective, particularly from a defensive point of view.
Yeah, when they've got down there and in sort of Warrington's sort of 20-30 yards, they've been pretty good. I don't think they've really had an opportunity down there. So yeah, I think if Jack kicks it long here, and I think we chase hard and try and knock up a couple of sets up here and get some ball back, I think we'll be in a good spot.
Yeah, Owen adding the 2 again for Warrington there. And it is Jake Thewlis underneath it this time for the Wolves, and he's met front on by Savelio and Holdstock as well for the Gould Vikings. Is once again Wood really looking to get involved, having scored that 4th try for the Wire, as Williams moves it on again to top forward Sipley. Wrapped up by 3 more Vikings defenders, including Jubb and Holdstock and Aldu. Williams again looking to go on the outside, has Thewlis on his outside. He has Jake Thewlis with him too. There's Sam Wood backing up on the inside. Max Wood, I should say, sorry. And Warrington back up again, but 6 again coming once again. Gould really can't afford to be giving many more of these away, as Walker looks to go for one himself, but hands it on out wide to Jake Thewlis, who had the line at his mercy there, but he spills it in the corner. We've already seen a fantastic finish in that corner from the youngster, but just unable to execute there, and that is a bit of a let-off for the Vikings there, but it's potentially a chance for them now to really make their own impact from that.
Yeah, that was a gift for Thewlis in the corner there. It was the spectacular try he's already scored, and just literally a catch in a dot down there, but yeah, really lucky for the Gould Vikings there. Obviously they scrambled back really well on the break, and the 6 again as well, but we're looking here to just hopefully get the ball, complete a set and get back up there.
There's a Jubb going out of dummy half, but not making much in the way of yardage. More big contact coming in from this Warrington Wolves defence, who are really going to try and put the squeeze on Gould now. It's Guzdeck bringing it in from full-back. Wood again involved for Warrington's. Holdstock again looking to get an arm free, but he makes good ground for the Vikings here as Jubb hands it on to Tyler Craig. He gets the offload away to Savelio. Savelio wrapped up, not much room with which to move for the former Wolves man. And so the kick from Rutland inside the 40, but no question of a 40-20 coming as Josh Thewlis gathers, and straight coming back against the grain for Warrington. Wrapped up by Howlett and Shaw as Josh Smith, one of the try scorers, brings it back in, and Warrington almost at halfway already. Question of potential 6 again there as Williams goes on the inside, meets Josh Thewlis, and I think that's Jalen Hodgson coming off second best in that massive collision there, but certainly did his job in stopping Thewlis stone dead there.
Yeah, I think Andre's he's wiped them both out there, hasn't he? He's a big boy, he's great, but yeah, he's smart player as well. Obviously, George has seen that the ruck's a little bit quick and just keep Thewlis around there, and he's sat him on his inside, but yeah, he's closed it out there, but I think Jalen Hodgson's come off second best.
Yeah, so a bit of a reset there. Hodgson able to carry on, so no HIA needed just yet for the Gould Vikings starting hooker. And a potential reset, because like you say, obviously Warrington really real exponents of the quick ball so far. This is obviously another chance for breaking play, obviously not of their own making, goal, but a chance now for another reset in defence and a chance to put some pressure back on this Warrington side.
Yeah, a little reset there for a minute. Obviously they've been doing it tough over the last 10-15 minutes, so yeah, for now to just to regather, reset and get going again.
There's a bit of a clunky start to the resumption from Walker, not really getting the runners he needed there, but Warrington have plenty of runners in the form of Toffo Sipley, who gets the offload again. Once again, Williams there for him. Ewan Smith there taking the ball into contact. That is the last tackle for the wire here. Potential pressure coming on Williams here. Chips it to the corner, chases on, but it's taken by Shaw there. He's driven back over his own line, so it will be a goal line dropout for the Vikings, and I can't imagine Miller going short here unless there's the potential chance to try and turn the ball over, but it's again more pressure on this goal side, and once again it's likely going to be more defending to do, Brett.
Yeah, smart play there from Williams, just drops it just in front of the line. Great take from Callum Shaw, but obviously Thewlis is straight on the task and bundles him over into the in goal, but yeah, just having a little breaking play now. I think Miller's looking for a short drop off now. Another
short kick from Jack Miller, not quite coming off though, and straight back on the attack come Warrington, so about 15 metres out from the goal line. They're going to be looking to get much closer than that as Wood handed on by Irwin to the substitute again, who has already scored one of Warrington's 5 tries here. So Walker coming back to the right. Irwin once again, chief creator. Potential coming out loose there. No question of a knock on or a forward pass, and still Warrington have it here. Tomlinson doing well in defence there following the initial hit from Connor Barley, as again Crowler is hit hard. Still Warrington in possession on the attack and stood up in the tackle too, so a quick play coming on again. Irwin hands it on, Williams linking up with him, going short to James Bentley. Not quite able to crash his way over from close range there. Former Leeds man comes back again off Williams to Irwin. Irwin hands it on short, and it comes loose in the contact there. It looks as if he's going to hit and spin off that short ball from Irwin there, but it's knocked on, and despite dotting down, it will be Gould ball once again, and the MO here is going to be certainly getting to a kick here, Brett.
Yeah, really good tackle there from Harry Aldous on his line, one-on-one. It was a difficult tackle to make there, but yeah, I think for Gould now, just seemed a little bit tired. It's been a tough 10-15 minutes here, just defending quite a lot, so they really need to get to the end of the set, maybe even get it out there and just take a little break.
So Cooper Howlett and Tyler Craig taking the first 2 carries of that set, as Jalen Hodgson coming out wide again, looking to try and turn this Warrington side around. Another early kick coming from Miller, who is behind the 40, but not quite getting the bounce. And it's not the easiest to deal with for Thewlis, but not quite what Miller was looking for there. But it is another chance to turn this Warrington side around, and they're a bit slow to get back.
I think they'll be really happy with that set goal. Yeah, they've managed to keep hold of the ball, get it back down, obviously put a little bit of pressure here on now Warrington in their defence, and just makes a whole lot of difference in what's going to happen going forward.
Yeah, Holdstock and Jubb fronting up in defence there for the Vikings as Albert Hopewati brings the ball almost up to halfway, and Williams once again quickly on to Wood. Once again, really breaking through again, has Walker back on his inside, and Danny Walker will dart down under the sticks for a 6th Warrington try in this match. So we just mentioned there, Brett, so solid in defence in the first half of that set goal, but once again that man Max Wood causing the Vikings all sorts of problems, and Williams, Walker as I should say, as any good hooker should, straight back up on the inside to finish.
Yeah, it only takes one little lapse of concentration, and that's what happened there. I think he's gone between 2 players and just found his way through, and then like you say, like every good hooker, just chasing up the middle and in support, and a nice little finish there for Danny Walker. But I think Gull have been doing the right things. They've been trying to get to the right area of the field there, but like I say, lacking concentration, and good team's punisher.
Yeah, Max Wood once again. I don't think many would have expected him to be the sort of game breaker for Warrington so far, but whenever it has sort of looked in the balance from a defensive point of view, he's been the player to really get Warrington over the line.
Yeah, he's made a big difference since he's come off the bench. I think 3 or 4 of the carries he's done he's really skilled the goal defence and made some real dents in there, and obviously now with that line break and a nice little play there to Walker, and he's certainly been the difference, I think, off the bench.
So about 3 minutes to go in this half. Kick to come for UNO, and 5 from 5 off the tee so far for Warrington. This super promising Warrington halfback, and from right in front, Ewan Owen will make it 6 from 6 as casually as you like, and a 30-point buffer now for the Wolves. And goal in this next 3 minutes before half time. Obviously we've seen short kick-offs are plenty from Jack Miller, but is this the chance? Goal, knowing they're going to get the ball probably at least once in before half time, it's another chance to really put that defensive pressure on, try and pen Warrington in, but they are, like you say, on a bit of a roll at the moment.
I would have said so, yeah. I think Warrington are very, very wise and clever now to the short kick-off. They're stacked up front. I think obviously the goal's down to get it deep, keep them away from the try line, and hold out for a couple of sets here and get to half time.
So Jack Miller kicking long this time, and Gould looking to keep Warrington pinned into their own end, but tough forward Sipley will have other ideas about that, wrapped up by Sevilla and Holdstock. That's Josh Smith coming out of yardage once again. Almost the potential to stop the clock there, but it's Wood again bringing the ball into contact. Walker once again looking to make his way around dummy half, and a good shot from Keenan Tomlinson on UNO in there. But again, the quick play, the ball really killing this goal momentum at the moment, and but a 5th tackle coming up, so they've done well to try and limit the extent of the Warrington attack so far. But another high kick going up from Williams. Connor Barley, Guzdak underneath this one, takes it unchallenged really, and a chance for him to get goal on the front foot here. Miller plays dummy half here. Coming out again, Barley not been afraid to take the ball into contact at all, as Jubb again looks to inject some pace around as Callum Shaw comes onto this one and comes out once again. Jubb looking to find a gap, but he does find the floor to get Gould back over the halfway line, and a good carry there from Tyler Craig as well. So the offload from Jalen Hodgson taken on the deck by Will Jobson. Not quite what Gould were looking for, but it is the last tackle, and a chance for Miller to kick once again. He drills it into a Warrington player, so it will be play on from here. As Thewlis now brings it back. And looking to ship it wide, Warrington, knowing the half-time clock on their side as Williams dances between two. Plenty of players in support. One of them is Josh Smith, and Smith will race in for a 7th Warrington try. Pressure all the way from Connor Barley, but it is grounded by the Warrington Wolves centre. And right as the half-time hooter sounds here at the Halliwell Jones, it is Warrington who bring up a 40 points to 6 lead over Gould with a kick to come. And once again, Brett, I think that's just the Warrington quality telling, because up until that break from Williams, Gould had done really well to keep Warrington within sort of their own 20-30 metre line.
Yeah, I think you can see what Jack Miller was trying to do there, just to get it into touch and probably wind the clock down a little bit and just give Warrington the one opportunity. But obviously George Williams had different plans there. They've shifted it out wide to him. He's found a little bit of room there and broke through, and obviously fed Josh Smith there, who's galloped away and who's looked very good as well, and quite a handful this afternoon.
Yeah, potential that Barley, another half a metre or so, and he might have got the ball free there, but yeah, just as you say, yeah, Williams, when he's in this kind of mood and in this kind of space, there's very little you can do about a player of that quality.
Yeah, George Williams is a very good runner of the ball. Obviously, I played with him alongside him at England and against him for many years when he played at Wigan and Warrington. And he's a fantastic player, and you can just tell that he makes this Warrington side tick. Everything good is around him and Fewless at the moment, and yeah, I think that's the spine of him. Fewless and Walker have certainly been the difference, and Wood off the bench as well.
Yeah, Irwin completing that spine too and about to line up Warrington's 7th kick of the afternoon, which he nails to make it 42 points to 6 at the break. So heading into half-time, Warrington with a healthy lead in this Challenge Cup 4th round tie, live and exclusive on Club TV. Gould started very brightly indeed, but just a couple of errors either side of that Cooper Howlett try, which arguably the try of the match so far from Gould's number 3. But the key aspect for Gould has been those errors coming out of their own yardage, which really did allow Warrington to build a platform which at half-time, Brett, looks pretty unassailable now.
Yeah, I think there's sort of the 6 agains, and then the errors in their own 20 have just killed them. You show them when you give field position to a very good side, and they look like they're playing with confidence. They're spinning the ball about and they're playing quite a lot, and it's very hard to handle, and it's difficult to sort of obtain a bit. So yeah, I think Gould obviously probably their own worst enemy, but yeah, very good Warrington team who are clearly on form today.
Yeah, Warrington really making use of the home advantage they've got in this match, and again, we've already mentioned, like you say, with the rule changes, the quick play that they've really been able to exploit. As we see that the opening try there from Josh Fewless, which after a spell where they'd really been penned in their own area, it was, again, once you say, Brett, like you say, a goal mistake, and Fewless able to dummy him through, and there's few quicker than him on the pitch.
Yeah, he's very good. He's Fewless. Obviously he's on the wing, but he's played a full back quite a few times as well, and you can tell he looks very comfortable there, chiming into the line and out the back, and he's made some really good carries and some assists there as well. But I just think that you find that the quick rucks is just getting that little bit too much for Gould, and it's hard to handle when Danny Walker's getting out there and just getting them big boys on the front foot.
Speaking of assists, though, the kicking from Miller has largely been on absolutely to a T so far, and we see for the Cooper Howlett try, which really did have Warrington sort of scrambling in defence and able to come up with the try.
Yeah, the kick there from Jack Miller, obviously get it to Cooper Howlett, like I say, a big boy and a little boy out jumps him, scores a try there, and it's 6-on. It's game on a little bit there, and Gould getting a little bit of a sniff, but they're just letting themselves down a little bit at a time, and obviously from the kick off there, they dropped the ball again, and Warrington is straight back onto it.
Yeah, so it was another case of Warrington, when they had possession and able to go through their hands. We mentioned so far all the playmaking talent they have in this squad, and Williams a wide ball to Jake Fewless, who dots down in the corner, who just a sensational finish, and just a showcase of what a Super League side can do when they're given that sort of fraction of space.
Yeah, it's a really difficult one. Obviously Gould are trying to get off the line there to try and put some pressure on the halves and stuff, but George knows what he's doing. He knows what options he's got. He knows where the other winger is and things like that, and you just see a little bit of a Callum Shaw just set back and a little bit tight there and just fires a nice ball over. And
then arguably the man of the first half there with Max Wood taking the carry there, and yeah, it's another exploiting of the short side from the men we've already mentioned, with Josh Smith going over with the dummy, but again it's Walker and Williams who are really running the show at the moment for us.
Yeah, I think any sort of quick rucks, Danny Walker's getting out there and he's just enticing the marker to come and get him, and they have to do that, but then obviously puts a lot of pressure on there. A one-on-one for George Williams, he's able to skip out. I think Josh Smith on this left centre has been very good. I think the whole left edge of Warrington's been very good. They just found too much space and so many opportunities there.
Yeah, it's been so effective so far, this left edge. We've hardly been given a chance to mention Lachlan Webster, who's obviously on debut on the other wing, and Albert Hopoate too, who pre-kick-off you would have thought he'd be sort of the danger man on the outside backs, but it's been this left side really working to a T. And as we see once again another replay heading into half-time, and this was, I think we're about to see Geordie Crowder's try coming up, another close range effort from, well, in fact no, it's the man of the moment, Max Wood, who's really made a massive impact off the bench. And is that sort of an area Gould are going to look at in the second half, do you reckon, with sort of making sure the bench, as soon as the interchange players come on, they're really able to make an impact and punch some holes?
This is what you want from your bench, isn't it? You want them to come out there and create loads of energy, get a lot of time on the ball and create a little bit of chaos in there, and that's what Max Wood's done. He's been very good at that. He's caused loads of chaos, and he's getting them quick rucks there for Danny Walker to jump off the back of it. And like I say, that spine worked very well. You see the clip now. George Williams never far away from Jack Walker. Fearless is never far away from George Williams, and that's where it's all happening at the moment.
Yeah, Geordie Crowther there, obviously dotting down for Warrington's sixth try of the afternoon. Another one of the sort of playmakers in this Warrington side, and again Dumming's tough for Sipley, who would have been hard enough to stop from that sort of range, but it's Crowther who crashes over. And then to finish off the scoring in this first half, it was once again Wood making his presence felt through the middle, handing it on to Walker, and how you say, the backing up play from Danny Walker. And obviously you've played for England, Brett, as well, and Walker's obviously one of several hookers vying for an England spot at the end of the year for the World Cup, and on this performance so far, and Super League so far this season, he's potentially out in front at the moment. Yeah,
it's certainly been a position over the last few years that England have been very fortunate in some really good hookers in there, like Daz Clark, and obviously Danny Walker, who's knocking on the door as well now. So yeah, he knows there's going to be some quick rucks and there's opportunities, and he's been there to take everyone. He's backed up really well, but also found a lot of chinks in the armour there at goal. Yeah, the link up play with him and Williams as well, and releasing Smith once again. And yeah, this has really been a game for Williams so far. It's sort of particularly the conditions. Obviously, we know he's heading back to the NRL at the end of the year, and obviously we've got the like you say, England captain World Cup in these sort of the sunnier, I imagine a bit warmer conditions at the end of the year. And yeah, as you say, Warrington going into half time with Smith as well, and it's just an exponent of just the depth in this Warrington squad, and that's what Gould have got to contend with. Yeah, it's nice when your hands are warm and you can catch the ball into it. It certainly makes a big difference, but I just think the shape that they've had in and around the ruck, and like I say, with some quick rucks from the big boys, and then Walker getting on the back of them. Like I said, Williams has played the very, very smart. They've been really direct on what they've been doing. They haven't tried overplaying too much. They're not trying to go around Gould Vikings all the time. They've been very direct. It's some nice leads, and it's just been a little bit too much at times for Gould. But yeah, they can hold their heads high. I think they've been good in some spells there, but just them little errors and just a little forward passes and things have crept into the game, and Warrington have been able to capitalise on that. So can Gould potentially try and mount a comeback, or at least try and reel this Wolves scoreline in, as Warrington look very much on their way to the last 8 of the Challenge Cup? We'll be back very shortly indeed for the second half at the Halliwell-Jones Stadium, live and exclusive here on Clubber TV. Welcome back to the Halliwell-Jones Stadium for Clubber TV's coverage of this Challenge Cup 4th round tie between the Gould Vikings and the Warrington Wolves. Warrington will be kicking off this second half, and they've got a pretty healthy lead with which to do so, leading 42-6 with 7 tries to Gould's 1 in the first half. Cooper Howlett, with all Gould's efforts have to show for it, is that 1 try scored following the opening score by Josh Steele. Is the man about to get the second half underway here at the Halliwell-Jones. Here with Brett Ferris once again, Gould's club captain. And what do you reckon the message will be from Scott Taylor, with, as we've just remarked, a pretty short half-time break, so not quite long to get his message across, but knowing Scott Taylor, he's a man who can certainly inspire this side to try and mount something towards a comeback. Yeah, probably straight to the point, to be honest. It'd be complete your sets, finish in the right areas of the field and give yourself an opportunity. I think when they did that, they could see that there was something there, and they could give themselves a chance, and that was coming up with that Cooper Howlett kick and stuff. So turn the ball in the right areas and look after the ball will be key for this half. So Josh Thewlis gets the second period underway. No shot kickoffs from his boot, and it's taken there by Guzdeck, who stumbles slightly, but it's brought back with some feeling by Tyler Craig there, and he'll hand it on once again. So Gould not hanging around in terms of ball security, but that's sort of the area where they did come unstuck in the first half, at particularly at key moments in the opening period of the game, which had been a pretty tight arm wrestle for those first 5 or so minutes. Yeah, like I said, I've mentioned it a couple of times, but quality side like Warrington, you gift them easy and cheap field position, and it'll certainly give them a bit of a humph in what they're doing, and probably an unfair distances sometimes. So yeah, I think Gould now completing the sets, knocking this off, and getting back up that very really good for them. Yeah, Jalen Hodgson taking the ball into contact is
Hodgson and Jubb on the pitch at the same time, and Jubb there getting another hand on there. Cervello coming out wide again, getting rid of 1-2 tacklers, but just unable to. Well, he does get the ball away. In fact, not the cleanest of offloads, but it's out on that far side to Callum Shaw. So Gould coming back once again, and a kick from Rutland this time. It's going to be allowed to bounce, and a bit of an awkward one for Warrington. Irwin just about takes possession and hands it on to Josh Thewlis, who is out of the first and the second tackle. Coming back against the grain. Thewlis still not wrapped up by this Vikings defence until he's finally taken there. And a bit of afters at this ruck, which the referee's going to try and de-escalate. Yeah, Thewlis did so well there, so it's a bit of a surprise to see him not try and, you know, get the ball away quickly there, Brett, and that's potentially a good thing for Gould, obviously having a really good set of their own, but then just slipping off a few tackles in defence there. But now they've had another chance to defend at the reset.
Bit of a scruffy end to the set there for Gould, and a bounce to the ball. Thewlis has beat a few and sort of on the front foot there, so I think Gould will be happy with that little break there.
Yeah, so Luke Thomas bringing it back for Warrington, and front football once again for Walker, and Wood likewise hands it on short to Ewan Smith there, but he is wrapped up. As James Harrison hands it on to Wood again. Wood so influential, having come off the bench midway through that first half. A try and a try assist for Danny Walker, who is on the ball once again. Hands it on short to James Harrison, who is just about able to get the ball down. Tara Jones giving the try, so Warrington straight out of the traps. 2.5 minutes into this second half, and once again pressure on the goal line telling, and Harrison just too big to keep out there, Brett.
Yeah, just a big man on a little man over the line, and James Harrison is clearly the big man on the winner there. Just a simple one-out carry, just goes over the top. I think it was Jubb there, and a simple try for him, but I think it all comes back from the kick there. It put themselves in a difficult position on that right-hand side. A tough kick. Thewlis returns it really well, and then puts himself in a really good position.
And it's Walker again out of 9 once again, obviously stepping out and just giving Harrison the space he needs, because at the moment he's sort of got this goal defence on strings a little bit, hasn't he, in terms of they just don't know whether he's going to go, whether he's going to pass, and sort of.
Yeah, I think they've made the replacement now at the 9. I think it's Ben Harthill who's come on now, and you can see he's a bit of a Ben Walker-esque. He's getting out there, he's encouraging the forwards to come forward, and yeah, looking smart as a young lad.
So Irwin adds the 2 to bring Warrington to a 48-6 lead here at the Halliwell Jones Stadium. About 4 minutes in to this second half, and work to do for Gould Vikings, which we've already seen them. Obviously it was a good sort of yardage set there, but once again they were looking to force the offloads, and is that sort of giving Warrington the confidence to know that they are going to try and overplay, and there's maybe mistakes maybe never too far away.
It's always difficult when you play. It's got to be on the money, it's got to be on the button, and if it isn't, it's certainly difficult. And like I say, you've got to be willing to defend. They've got some very good players out there at Warrington. They've made a few changes at half time. I think Leon Hayes has come on for George Williams, and Danny Walker's took a break there for Ben Harthill, but yeah, there's certainly a lot out there still.
So Miller's kick allowed to bounce and returned by the try scorer Harrison. So Warrington up to the 20 already. So that's Smith, 2 tries in the first half, bringing it back to the right hand side. There's again the quick ruck. Harthill again there, quickly on, and once again Luke Thomas almost taking Warrington up to the halfway line here as Harthill goes to the right hand side again. Irwin hands it on. Albert Hopewati, not seen much of him so far, but he breaks straight through that gap there, hands it on to the debutant, who is over for a first try in Warrington colours. Lachlan Webster looked as if he'd been wrapped up by the sliding cover defence from Gould there, but stepping back on the inside and sliding over from close range to bring up 50. Warrington now leading 52 points to 6, and we mentioned that Warrington's left side attack had really been sort of the main avenue in that first half, Brett, but coming to the right hand side, Hopewati breaking clean through, and then a great finish from the debutant Webster.
Yeah, I think now with George Williams going off, I think Irwin will probably be the more dominant half and the louder voice, and probably coming to the strike edge now with Hopewati. So yeah, nice play from him. Shrugged Miller off, and then had the awareness then to find young Webster, and he's done a great finish there.
Yeah, it's just the cover defence obviously coming across from Barley, and he'd committed on the challenge already to on Albert Hopewati and just unable to wrap Walmsley up as he was coming back against the grain there. But yeah, just seeing there the former Canberra Raiders centre sliding clean through the goal defence. And obviously 2 tries in the opening 6 minutes of this first half. How do Gould now sort of try and stem the flow of points that Warrington are really going to try and pile on now?
I would say kick long, chase really hard, and go set by set. There's obviously the scoreline's blown out quite a bit, so now it's about going for set, being a little bit more resilient and ruthless in what they're doing in defence, and I think that might give them a little bit of opportunity. I think Halliday's coming on here now as well, so he replaces Jalen Hodgson.
So Ewan Irwin adds the 2 for Warrington, so 54 points to 6. The Wolves lead 9 tries to Gould one, but as you mentioned there, Brett, Tom Halliday coming off the bench as well, and he another player who's going to try and inject a bit more pace in and around this ruck and getting them maybe to more wide angles where they can try and play a bit more. But once again, it's going to be all about that front football and getting to the kicks, but most importantly, set completion from Gould.
Yeah, that's it now. I think they'll have a bit of a shuffle on this left edge, and Tom Halliday will come on to wing. Connor Barley goes into his preferred position in centre. Keelan Tomlinson moves into to the back row there, and I think gives him a little bit more injection of pace on the wing here with Tom, and he'll be looking to make a big impact.
Another short kick-off from Miller, which potentially didn't go 10 there, taken by Warrington, potentially inside the 10, but it's allowed to play on as Thewlis hands it on to Harrison. So the short kick-off's not quite coming off so far for Miller in this second half, but question of a forward pass there too, and a drop ball as well, but it's come back. And the knock-on is given, so Gould's defence really flying up in the faces of the Warrington Wolves and forcing the error here. And for the first time really in this half, Brett, it's a chance for Gould to lay an attacking platform of their own.
Yeah, much better day there from Gould. They've got off the line and forced a bit of an indifferent path there from Leon Hayes to Bentley, and just give themselves an opportunity now, and hope they can see something good from them.
Yeah, so scrum time for the first time in this match for the Vikings. Chance to put the Wolves on the back foot for the first time in this half. Miller, everything going through him once again. Tomlinson handing it on to Connor Barley. Short ball back in the centres, as we've mentioned. As Judd going down the blind side, looking to dart from dummy half, but just unable to release Tomlinson to his left, and he's wrapped up by 2 Warrington defenders as Guzdeck hands it on. Holstock again, looking to make his presence felt about 15 metres out from Wire's line here. As Miller hands it on again out to Rutland, and a short ball to Savelia, who gets the offload away, as does Rutland there, but still Gould on the front foot. Best attacking spell of the half so far, with Savelia playing dummy half. Rutland handing it on to Craig, who stumbles slightly, and now last tackle coming up as Judd goes to the blind side. A kick in behind. Can Howlett get his second? He does. Cooper Howlett dotting down in the corner. The kick in behind from Callum Rutland, and once again, following those 2 Warrington tries, it is Gould really opening up the Wire defence, and another impressive try from Cooper Howlett, Brett.
Yeah, much better set there from Gould, obviously. Put a nice little shift play, came back to the middle. Callum Rutland sets up on the right hand side on that short side. Lovely little kick in there, and Cooper Howlett gets on the end of it. Just shows what they can do when they get themselves in the right areas and give themselves a bit of an opportunity.
Yeah, we mentioned in the first half as well, Brett, obviously so many unforced errors from Gould leading to Warrington tries, but Gould this time forcing the error of their own and coming away with points from it.
Yeah, I think it just goes to what we said on it. Keep hold of the ball, give yourself an opportunity, and things like this come, and it's really hard now to back to back and keep on them defensive sets, and where you get the emphasis on your attack, and especially in the old 20, you give yourself some opportunity.
Yeah, this is going to be obviously in the context of the match, it's obviously still it's going to be a bit of a stretch for Gould to even try and reel Warrington in from here, but this following set off the kickoff here is going to be really important, particularly I reckon from Scott Taylor's perspective, sort of knowing the attitude of the side to try and once again try and go toe to toe with the Warrington side.
Yeah, he'll be looking at these sort of moments for the attitude and the concentration of the players, and obviously scoring a try there, it's all great and well, but if you don't back it up and do something good after, it certainly counts for not too much. So hopefully now that they'll be able to receive the kick-off, get a good set of 6 in, have a good kick-off, Jack or Callum Rutland, and stay down there now.
So Jack Miller just unable to add the extras there. So it remains 54 points to 10 in Warrington's favour, but as we just mentioned there, chance now for Gould to try and respond once again. So they will receive possession from this kick-off. which Thewlis lining up now for the home side. High kick from Thewlis, too long from Thewlis, so an error from the Warrington fullback there, kicking straight out, and it will be a penalty on halfway, a tap in fact on halfway for goal. Barley not messing around whatsoever, but
Callum Shaw wanted a quick tap there, didn't he?
Shaw in fact, yeah, looking to take the quick tap, but even more field position coming up with the boot of Miller. I suppose when you've got Miller with the sort of kicking range he's got, it's never a bad idea to sort of go towards the corner.
Yeah, I don't think you're allowed to do the quick tap there as well from half, so Tyler Jones has stopped the game, and Miller kicks it and gets another valuable 20 metres. Good set up there, play from Andre Savelio.
Yeah, very similar position to where the last try originated from in terms of starting this set, and they're going to look for another one here with completion. That's Craig wrapped up as Jubb goes to his left again. Aldu back to within 15 metres of Warrington's line here. Jubb wrapping around Miller, wrapping around the back of there, handing it on again, and a penalty coming once again for goal. Caught offside in defence, Warrington. So once again the Vikings putting more pressure on this Warrington defence, and yet another chance to potentially post points here, Brett.
Yeah, I think Gould will be looking to just spend some time down here and get a bit of a feel of what's going on and stuff. I think we had some really good players within this area, and the more time we can spend down there, the more opportunities we get.
Yeah, so Judd coming to the left again. Miller handing on a short ball to Tomlinson. Tomlinson almost getting the offload away, but he's wrapped up by his legs. Ewan Owen making a vital tackle there as Guzdek running down a bit of a blind alley here, but going to the short side, wrapped up on the line by Hotolati, so 5 metres out from the Warrington line here as Barley hands it on for Miller once again. He goes back to Aldu, and obviously we mentioned there, Brett, obviously looking to just sort of stay in this area with Miller and Rutland. Do you reckon there's a chance they could try and turn Warrington around here? A kick in behind from Miller, but the grubber sits up kindly for Max Wood, and so it will be Warrington's turn to bring possession out here, but still exactly in the area of the pitch that Goal want to be in, if they can avoid slipping out of another few tackles here as Wood hands it on. It's Smith, in fact. Question of a high tackle there on Jake Thewlis, but it's wrapped up. I think that's Savelio there potentially in back play down, so Gould playing with 12 at the moment in the defensive line.
Yeah, looks like Savelio's afternoon's done there. His hammy or his calves no good.
Very gingerly there.
Got Tyler Craig ready to come on for him.
Yeah, Tyler Craig ready too. So back up to 13 men, and Craig straight on down that blind side. He's going to be met with a task very soon indeed, you'd imagine, as wrapped up again, but Gould been able to keep Warrington to within 35 metres of the line, but they're going to ship it on here. Irwin kicks high under a bit of pressure. Halliday underneath this one. First real test for him, and he comes up with it. Taking a high kick there, Tom Halliday for the Vikings, and a chance for them now to come out of their own end. Good carry there from Conor Barley again.
Conor Barley's been great at the back, getting us out of some trouble there. His carries have been very strong.
Yeah, shifting to the centre, and likewise now coming out on the other wing, Callum Shaw. So up to their own 30-metre line, the Gould Vikings still looking to make their way out of yardage, but already the sort of set completion, it's been night and day compared to the first half, particularly in this area of the pitch, Brett.
Yeah, it's been much better. I think the completion rate's been much higher. Obviously a bit of loose play down there on a couple of sets before, but certainly a better position, and a nice little kick there from Callum Rutland, I believe.
Rutland looking to turn Warrington behind, and he does find grass, so we'll come back for the handover here in the middle. But once again, in the first half, I think not even a handful of times where Gould were able to sort of get to the kick on the front foot, find grass, and successfully turn his Warrington side around. So
yeah, and it makes a massive difference, doesn't it? I think you can just see the energy battle, the defensive. We've been able to get off his line, been able to tackle, and we work harder, and just made it more of a contest in that area. And it's 50-50 ball. You give yourself an opportunity.
So that's Ewan Smith taking the ball into contact for Warrington, looking to play their own way out of trouble, as Maxwell again tries to make his presence felt coming out onto that right hand side. It's James Bentley, in fact. Here is Wood now off the inside ball from Harrison, but a penalty given. Potential late contact there on the Warrington Wolves prop, so they will get the penalty. Irwin wasting no time whatsoever, kicking for the touch, and again the Wolves going to be back on the front foot here as Hartill hands it on. Luke Thomas with the first carry, so within 30 already, and after a good spell of possession in Warrington's half, it's now time for Gould to front up again once again in defence, Brett, as Harrison brings it to the 20.
Yeah, hopefully now they have a little bit more energy in the tank to defend these sets. Great tackle there and a great read there coming from, I think, Callum Rutland coming in.
Yeah, chopping the legs of James Bentley, but Hartill wasting no time whatsoever, going straight from dummy half and crashing his way over, so spotting the space in behind the goal ruck there, and Ben Hartill, so impressive. We've seen already Danny Walker really make an impact in the first half, but Ben Hartill dotting down for his own try there, and just mentioned there, Brett, the energy in defence, but Gould just slipping in behind the ruck there, and Hartill fully able to exploit it.
Just way too quick. The markers weren't set. A great spot there from Ben, and gets out there, and a nice easy try for there, like you say, when you're looking back at the footage there. A decent enough tackle there from Callum Rutland. He's come in, closed it, but just not set at marker. He's been able to get out there and go probably farther than he thought, but yeah, he's done a nice little job there, and like I said, just looks like a spitting image of Danny Walker.
Yeah, like you said, the chop tackle from Rutland on James Bentley looked to have slowed the Warrington momentum, but yeah, Hartill wasting no time whatsoever, and as you say, it's with sort of the speed of play that Warrington in particular have begun this season with. It's no surprise to see it's almost an interchangeable sort of impact at the ruck between Walker and Hartill there, and it's going to be Irwin again who's really sort of taking the playmaking mantle now. He's going to try and convert. Yeah,
he's been that voice anyway, when you can tell. I think there's a lot of the shifts and a lot of the players been down this right hand side in the second half. Although it being early, I think probably they've got a decent little relationship there as Ben Hartill and Irwin from the academy and reserve sort of ranks, and you can just see that playing in fruition now, and they're looking very good at the young halfbacks.
So Irwin adds the 2 to bring up 60 for Warrington. They lead 60 points to 10, but there's been about a 10-minute spell in between those last 2 Warrington tries where Gould have obviously scored, but it's been their best spell since the opening 5 minutes, I'd say, and that's got to be a positive they can take now. Obviously, there's still a fair bit of the game to go, but they know they can trouble this Warrington side. So is it just about keeping up the intensity and playing in the right areas now?
Yeah, playing in the right areas, keeping hold of the ball, giving themselves an opportunity, and being able to defend on the back of that. Like I say, if you're gifting Warrington possession and position all the time, just makes it really difficult for yourselves.
Another short kick-off coming up from Miller, battered back by the Wolves and taken by Halliday, but he's straight into touch, so almost coming up trumps at the short kick-off once again for the Gould Vikings, but Halliday just running out of room there, and he's been another bright spark since coming, obviously taking the high kick there, which was sort of the last chance that Warrington had to score off a kick potentially, and both of Gould's tries coming off kicks as well, so they know the areas in which they're strongest, and it's just about sort of setting and giving Miller and Rutland the sort of space they need.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, give yourself opportunity and putting the ball in the right areas. Another penalty here now, and it just gives field position to Warrington. I'm certain Irwin will probably kick the ball, or Leon Hayes here, 30-40 metres down, and they're straight into good ball, and they look very good in good ball as well.
Yeah, when we've seen sort of the ease at which they can make metres when given half an inch, and they certainly don't need the assistance, do they, in terms of getting easy metres down the field.
Yeah, that's it. I think they're playing on the front foot. They've got some big boys in that middle. Wood and Harrison have been very good for in the second half. The likes of Hayes and Irwin on the back of it. A nice little forward pass there, so yeah, Gould get out of trouble there. But
yeah, Wood at first receiver following another quick play at the ball from Harrison, but just handing it on forward to Luke Thomas. So it's another opportunity now for Gould, but obviously in the first half in particular, they were in this position several times and they weren't really able to execute. They're sort of coughing the ball up cheaply. So this is now the area. Obviously, is it sort of forget the scoreline from now on? Is it all about Gould sort of now trying to match Warrington for this last sort of 20 minutes?
Yeah, it's building and going forward, isn't it? It's getting good habits into your game and creating some consistency, and that's what Gould haven't been. A great carry there though from the scrum from Cooper Howlett.
Cooper Howlett on a hat-trick, remember, so that would certainly be a story to bring away from this match for Gould if he's able to come away from that. And he's been the key exponent of the strong kicking game that's been allowed to function at times for Gould. And another penalty coming once again, and this is exactly the sort of pressure they need to build now.
Yeah, he put himself some really good spots as there, Coops. He got on the end of 2 good kicks, and kicks is only as good as the chase, as they've always said. And here now we get a bit of possession and hopefully get over the halfway line.
So back over halfway, Jubb hands it on, back on the inside. comes Harry Medlicott back on after a spell in the interchanges as Liam Watts likewise back on too. Short ball there. So Gould looking to get back on the front foot. Liam Watts so effective in the early stages of that first half. Nearly went the distance with the intercept as well. And so yeah, he's really a man who's going to try and lift this Gould side in this last 20 minutes.
I think they've had to keep him off for a good half an hour there, to get his rest back. But yeah, he was a very prominent figure. He's been great for us as Wattsy since he's come in, and you can just tell with the style of play that he's fresh out of Super League and got very good.
Kick in behind, I think that might have been from Howlett, but wrapped up about 5 out from his own line by Josh Thewlis there, who slowly gets back to his feet, but Warrington back in possession, but not the area they want to be in whatsoever, and Gould now really starting to front up in defence. Watts there involved again, and is there sort of been a message? Obviously it's a new club, bringing players in like yourself, Brett, and Liam Watts as well, bringing so much Super League experience, and when you've got obviously a young crop of players as well coming in from a lot of sort of ex-Hull Academy players as well, is that sort of the exact right blend that Scott's wanted to build it for a club that is, like I say, one of the newest in the leagues?
Yeah, and that's important for him today, to get that exposure as well, these young boys to go out there and test themselves against a very good Warrington side and experience the whole day and the build up and everything towards it. So yeah, the likes of myself and Liam are obviously there to help and guide some of these younger boys, and hopefully we can do a good job with that, because we've certainly got some good players in there, some good young players who want to get back into full-time environments as well, and the reserves and the academies are a little bit scratchy at the moment, so to come down and drop down to play into Championship and League One gives them that exposure and playing against adults every week.
And particularly, obviously, like you say, with the new Championship format is a little bit thrown together, shall we say. Obviously it's been very it's sort of hard to gauge where teams' form is at, because obviously the draw's not exactly a straight draw, and come back now, just a bit of a break in play, stop play. Watts
just copped a little bit of a high one now. I don't think he was too happy with it, maybe a bit of poke in the eye or something like that, but yeah, going back to the format, I think it's a bit indifferent in what we've had to come up with and how late in play it kind of was, but I think teams now they're cracking on and doing the best they can. There's some very good Championship teams, and obviously the recruitment of likes of London and stuff like that have been great, so for us to go out there and test ourselves, and we'll get an opportunity against them this year and see where we're at as a club and how far we've come in such a short period.
Does a game like this also help you sort of gauge where you're at as well, because you know you're coming up against top opposition? Obviously, regardless of the scoreline, it's been a very spirited performance. As you see Watts now getting a bandage up a little bit, which is
looks like Humpty Dumpty, doesn't it?
Not for the first time. Oh, I was going to say not for the first time he's been bandaged up, but I'll maybe retract that statement.
Yeah, I think it looks like a clash of heads. I think the Warrington players there is getting the same, so
I think
maybe a clash of heads there for him.
I think that's you and Owen as well, so just a bit of head strapping and a break in play. But yeah, like going back to that point of obviously playing in this match and taking it back into the league form, it's going to be, obviously, having seen players like Cooper Howlett, we've mentioned, who's on a hat-trick against the Super League team, that's no mean feat, and obviously he's going to take plenty of stock in that as he tries to come up against Championship centres in the next few weeks.
Yeah, this is massive for the club, the town and the community of Gould. I think if you'd have said last year to us that we'd have been in the last 16 of the Challenge Cup, coming over to Warrington and having a crack at these, we'd have probably took it, and we're here now and we get these opportunities, and obviously beating Halifax in the last round of the cup was a very special week. Last year we beat London in one of the first couple of weeks with being born sort of thing for us. So yeah, all these are milestones, and it's certainly great to be a part of this. It's a special journey that the Gould Vikings have been on so far, and it's one that will hopefully stay around for a long time to come.
So into the last 18 minutes of this match as the Gould journey continues. Liam Watts just a bit of a shake of the head there.
His looks any good, will it?
Gets us back underway. So Gould, 5th tackle, so obviously no penalty coming for that head contact on Watts as Rutland goes to the skies looking for Howlett again. Guzdeck underneath it too, but coming away with it. Jake Thewlis there, try scorer in the first half, as Josh Smith also on a hat-trick as Ewan Irwin looks to come to this right-hand side, but he's wrapped up by a bandage-clad Liam Watts. Smith again coming back towards his left centre position with possession. As Hartill comes to the right again, Albert Hopewati laid on early try and gets the offload again once again. Hartill looking to make his presence felt. Not quite able to get the ball away though, but he's up to the halfway line. Warrington really looking to set their stall out here in the last 20 or so minutes of this second half. Max Wood again, such an impact he made off the bench in the first half. But a bit disjointed as Irwin goes to the skies again. Halliday underneath this one, tapped on in the air by a Warrington player. As Miller comes up with it, but will come back. Yeah, knock on in the air, signalled by Tara Jones, and so we'll come back for the turnover. So it will be Gould's possession here.
Gould's play the ball.
Yes, it will be Miller to play it, and Halliday potentially off the back fence here. Was met by a wall of primrose and blue shirts there though.
Yeah, so they're the tough carries there, aren't they?
Gould with work to do. So Warrington now ready to close this game out. 18 or so minutes left of the match here. Guzdeck taking another carry for the Vikings. As Watts, so involved in the first half, looking to make an impact in this second. Still not down eventually. Irwin and Wood combine to get the two-time Challenge Cup winner to ground as another kick over the top, attempted by Miller, wrapped up by Bentley. But he too is taken by the two Gould halves, Rutland and Jack Miller, who've, when given the space, Brett, they've really been impressive, the two Gould halves again. Rutland and Miller in particular with that kicking game, which we know all about, but it's on show against the Super League side too. Yeah,
I think they've been good. I think they've controlled areas of the game pretty well. The last players have been quite good, and it's given us a chance within the game. I think with what they've done and how they've controlled it has been it's been really good.
Yeah, Ewan Smith taken into contact there. There's Warrington loading up numbers on this left-hand side, which they're now looking to punch straight through as Hayes hands it on to James Bentley, but the ball goes to ground. Smith potentially taken before he got the ball there. Warrington centre on a hat-trick, so it will be a penalty for the Wolves here. And once again, we mentioned there, Brett, the Gould defence really sort of trying to hold them up, Warrington, but then once again just the sort of quick slip of play from Hayes, and then Bentley clean through.
Yeah, nice little play there from Hayes, and finds Bentley on that lead. I think there's a late challenge there on the forward. Decent pick up from out the back and to prevent a try.
So Hartill handing it on to James Harrison. Both already a try scorer in this match. Likewise, this man Max Wood still on after coming on in the first half here. Numbers left and right for Hartill should he wish to use them, and he does. Back to Harrison, who hands it on to Hayes. Hayes looking to go himself and steps straight through, giving the Gould defence a clean pair of heels. Leon Hayes, too quick and too skillful, skipping his way past, and he dots down under the 6 for an 11th Warrington try in this match, making it 64-10. And it looked all set to go to that left-hand side once again there, Brett, but Leon Hayes just sort of ducking and weaving his way through the defence, as Josh Thulis did right at the start of the match.
Yeah, great feet there from Thulis. Nice little play there from Harrison out the back. Hayes gets the ball, squares up. I think he sees a little bit of something on the inside and skips in there, but really nice feet from Leon Hayes, and then just dots it down over the post.
Yeah, made such a bright start in this Warrington team before some pretty horrible injuries in the last couple of seasons, so it's good for a Warrington perspective to sort of see him rediscovering his form. And yeah, just once again it just shows the strength and depth that's in this Warrington side, and it's sort of no surprise that they're able to sort of take off the likes of Walker and Williams, but still there's no drop off in quality whatsoever.
Yeah, it does. They've got some very good young players. We're getting some great exposure now and getting some good minutes in them. Got really good players. The halves have been very good. We're very impressed with the 9. I mean, the forwards have been very good. The outside backs, quick, elusive, done some great work out of backfield, and I think they're all round really good performance from these young boys. Obviously young Gould coming up against last year's losing finalists. Obviously it was a very sort of tight match in not ideal conditions at Wembley, but obviously we can't really gauge what the conditions are going to be like as we get towards the sort of the summer months when the final takes place. But like we just mentioned there, that squad depth, as Warrington looked to respond to a pretty bad season in Super League terms last year, but obviously getting to the Challenge Cup final again, that depth is going to be key in sort of the back end of the year. Yeah, that's what Sal and Steve McNamara want, the depth within the squad, and these young boys putting their hands up to get an opportunity and play.
Good take from a short kick off from Lachlan Webster, a Warrington debutant in this match, and Hopewati looking to get the Wolves straight back on the front foot here following that try. So Wood handing it on again to Hayes, the try scorer. Out wide again, Thewlis. Smith out wide again, Jake Thewlis, but he's wrapped up. Good scramble defence from the goal Vikings. That's Howlett involved once more. Question of a potential 6 again there, but Howlett gets the rub of the green this time. So moving forward in the tackle, I think Bentley's going to be asked to go back a fair few metres there, and probably not the play you want to say that to. It comes back again to the right hand side as Irwin hands it on again, but a drop ball from Ewan Smith, and Tomlinson picks it up for goal, so forcing error once again. Out back Jalen Hodgson, Jack Miller onto Halliday again. Bit disjointed there from goal, but they've done well to force the error, and they'll come away with it on their own 30-metre line. Not quite the 6 again they were wanting there either though, but once again showing Gould can force the errors and try and get on the front foot themselves from this sort of position, Brett.
Yeah, good deal, a little bit of overplay there as well from Warrington, but certainly good on the back of it. And unfortunately a little knock on there from Connor Barley, and just relieves that pressure again. Yeah,
just a little bit disjointed the attack there from Gould, sort of coming back into traffic, and as you said there, Barley just unable to keep hold of that offload from Watts. So another chance at scrum time for Warrington to lay the platform with 70 points well within their reach here. About 67.5 minutes into, about 12.5 minutes left on the clock here at the Halliwell Jones. So looks as if Warrington will set to the right hand side here. Irwin's going to be first receiver again, you would imagine. Influence growing on this game as he looks to step his way through, and does just that. Ewan Irwin skipping through the defence. We've just seen Hayes do it on the left, and now Irwin makes light work of the goal defence down this right hand side as Warrington do make it 70 points to 10 here at the Halliwell Jones. And we've spoken, Brett, of Irwin's growing influence on this match, and still just in his very, very young years coming into the Warrington side, but already really making a stamp on this game, and now getting a try following all those successful kicks too.
Yeah, he's been very good as Irwin. He's certainly up there with one of the sort of potential players of the matches. He's controlled this game second half very, very well. You can tell he's just growing in stature as the game grows, and that play there, just from off a scrum, off a dead start, gets the ball off a wide pass from young Ben Hartill. Squares up, steps inside, and just have too much pace then for Guzdeck out the back as well. But yeah, very well nice out of the front.
Yeah, the goal defence just not quite set there, potentially expecting a sort of move out the back with obviously Hopewati having the option, but then Irwin showing he can run just as well, and plenty of flailing arms there, and that's the pressure now really sort of coming on as Warrington look to really pile on the points in this last 10 minutes.
Yeah, they've grown, these young boys, pretty quick, haven't they, in the last sort of 20 minutes. They've found a way how to play and what they want to do, and they've got on the front foot quite a lot in that. And I think the likes of Irwin, Hayes and Hartill at 9 have been very good on that. They've grown with that. I think Thewlis has sat out the back and pushed them around very, very well. And look, they've got some very good young kids here, and you can see there's a lot of potential for the future.
So Irwin adds the extras, converting his own try to make it 12 from 12 off the tee. The Warrington youngster make it's now 72-10 with just under 9 minutes left in this match at the Halliwell Jones. So Warrington well on course for the last 8 of the Challenge Cup, where Wakefield and Wigan already booking their places last night, as we mentioned, against Leeds and Bradford respectively, and York joining them, beating Keighley by a pretty dominant scoreline, which is exactly what Warrington are building here. Miller, potential of a short kick-off once again, but he does go long this time. And once again, Hayes underneath at Fort Warrington, and Luke Thomas coming back, but he's met front on by Watts, Will Judd, and another defender there, but Josh Smith looking to work his way through. Another man on a hat-trick for Warrington. James Harrison again looking to step his way back in through the middle. So many agile forwards in this Warrington side, Brett, and that only helps them in terms of sort of laying this fast platform as coming back on the inside. Thewlis, they've tried that a few times, but not much in the way of success so far on those kind of plays, and Thewlis has come off second best in that as Max Wood again looks to make some good ground, getting Warrington over halfway and to within 40 metres of the goal Vikings line here, but it is the last tackle signalled by Tara Jones. So Hayes, high kick, looking to test Josh Guzdeck, but he will take this one pretty unopposed, but then met very quickly indeed by James Bentley and the Warrington chasers there. That's Howlett again coming back on the inside. And a penalty coming for goal. So Howlett once again helping to get the Vikings back on the front foot, and again another chance to get Warrington where they don't want to be playing. But goal, we've already seen, once they get over halfway they're a completely different team, and it's all about sort of set completion from here on in, but they've already shown they can really put some pressure on this Warrington defence.
Yeah, they just need to spend more time up there, I think. Knocking a few sets off and getting the emphasis of staying up here is vital for them, and when they have done that, they show some real glimpses. Kind of Rutland down the short side here now, and good tackle there from Leon Hayes, but yeah, when they've put themselves in the right spots and the good opportunities, they've certainly come up with some players. Good carry there from Harry Medlicott.
Goal really looking to make their presence felt in the back end of this match. Jubb again handing it on. Liam Watts going down the blind side on the back inside to Guzdeck. Nice idea from the Vikings, but Warrington coming up with possession. So we can see again there Watts, at the start of the first half he was first receiver fairly often, but looking to try and get himself involved in the playmaking role again. Hopewati now looking to exploit some space and finding it in behind Howard. Howard, can he wrap him up here? Back on the inside to Irwin. Fantastic cover tackle there from it's Jalen Hodgson. In fact, Guzdeck completing the tackle, but it is Lachlan Webster coming back on the inside looking for a second try on his Warrington debut. It comes out left to Hayes. Once again, they've got plenty of numbers out on this left-hand side, and it will be Jake Thewis to dot down in the corner. Set up once again by his brother Josh out the back for Warrington, and they will make it 76 points to 10 with a kick to come as we head towards the last 5 minutes of this match. But once again there, Brett, we see Gull building some good field position at the other end of the pitch, but a mistake, and then Warrington absolutely lethal coming back as we're heading towards the last 5 minutes here.
Yeah, it's just that inability to be able to back up the errors. Fortunate error there downfield, and Warrington are so quick to get on it and turn that attacking mentality. The young halves are doing so well in what they're doing now. They're playing really direct and square, causing all sorts of issues to Gould, and probably just a little bit too quick and fluent in what they're doing there.
Yeah, and more bad news for Gould. That left side of Warrington's attack having been pretty devastating in the first half, clicking back into gear in this second half as well after a few errors which were obviously forced by Gould, the likes of Howlett on that far side, and Tomlinson and Shaw as well, sort of forcing the errors. But yeah, the left side clicking back into gear is not the best sort of news, even though there is only a few minutes left.
Yeah, unfortunately not, no. But like I said, take nothing away from Warrington. They've been very good. I think they was led really well by George Williams and Danny Walker in that first half, and I think what will be more pleasing for Sam and Steve McNamara is that the likes of Leon Hayes and young Irwin and Harthill have come on and stepped it up a little bit, if I'm honest. Their enthusiasm, the energy that they bring with them young boys, and the direct plays have been very, very good in that. And yeah, it's just not been able to hold on for goal. I think there's been a lot of errors in that, but the lads have had a real dig here. They've worked really hard, and they should be proud of themselves from where we've come as a club. From nothing to obviously being able to play on these big stages is massive for us.
Yeah, Goal keen to finish as strongly as they can in the circumstances, with about 3.5 minutes left in this match, as Irwin maintains his 100% record with an absolute belter of a conversion from the sideline there, and Miller ready to get Goal back underway. Another long kick-off from the Vikings, number 7. A good chase once again, led by Liam Watts, who gets Harrison down at the second time of asking. Hands up again, Josh Smith out the back once again. He'll be keen to try and complete his hat-trick before the back end of this match is complete, as Irwin once again out the back. Albert Hopewati now really looking to find some space in this second half, but taken down very well indeed by Connor Barley in a one-on-one tackle. Harthill so quickly has it though for Warrington, back up once again as Wood back up the middle off a short ball from Ewan Irwin. But Watts involved once again to try and wrap him up. Back to the right-hand side come Warrington as Irwin out the back once again with that's Webster looking to step his way through. He himself moving to full-back now, so an even better potential way to complete his debut, but that's a stab kick behind from Ewan Irwin, taken pretty comfortably by Josh Guzdeck, and it will be Howard here to bring it out once again for the Vikings. And a good carry from the interchange winger there.
Yeah, he's been good as Halliday since he come on. Josh Smith driving back Cooper Howlett there and puts Callum Shaw under a little bit of pressure. Yeah, you just see they're looking to get to the end of the game now, I think. Yeah,
running themselves into a little bit of trouble here. Gould still with plenty of metres to make up, but still in possession. Can't afford many more errors with the mood Warrington are in. And speaking of the sort of Warrington performance on a whole, Brett, who there's been obviously, we've mentioned so many standout players really stepping up to the occasion in this match, and with the fifth tackle now coming up, but whose kick almost charged down but taken there by Fulis, who has moved to the wing. Just see how this sort of next phase of play hands out, as you saw right at the start of the second half. Fulis getting rid of defenders like it was going out of fashion, handing off both Watts and Miller there. So Warrington straight back on the front foot after a pretty uncharacteristic kick from Callum Rutland, but it is spilled by James Bentley over on that left-hand side, and Gould back in possession once again. So Jubb hands it on. Howlett there looking to carry and make some good ground, and does so up to the 40-metre line. The Vikings again looking to make an impact on the last minute or so in this match, as Watts, first receiver, once again hands it on. Miller onto Barley, who gets Halliday involved once again. So hard to bring down Tom Halliday. And so as Jalen Hodgson again looks to take the ball into contact, we were cut off there by a pretty impromptu Warrington attack there, Brett. But who in this match has really stood out for you in terms of man of the match?
To be honest, there've been 4 or 5 on the Warrington side. I think Josh Smith started very well on the left edge and got a couple of tries there. I think Max Wood made a massive difference when he come on. I thought, like I say, Danny Walker and George Williams were very instrumental in that first half, but then the young halfback Ewan Irwin, I think he's really stood up. He's controlled the game within the second half, and he was very good alongside George in that first. He's kicked very well, obviously he's kicked great off the tee as well. He's certainly got a very, very bright future as that lad.
Yeah, he's really sort of been earmarked as a future 6 or 7 for the Wire in the next few years, and tries another kick in behind here. In fact, it's the debutant Webster once again, but he's going to be wrapped up on the deck. Is Josh Guzdeck, and that will bring an end to this Challenge Cup 4th round tie at the Halliwell Jones Stadium. Warrington Wolves coming away with a very comfortable 78 points to 10 victory, but that does not tell the whole story whatsoever. Gould Vikings in just the very start of just their second season in the professional divisions, really giving it all they could and causing Warrington plenty of problems of their own, but just unable to really keep pace with the Super League quality that the Wolves have, from not just 1 to 13 but 1 to 35 in terms of the size of their squad and the sheer quality running all the way through this squad. But a man of the match form from Ewan Irwin leading them to it, Brett. And Gould, despite the sort of manner of the defeat, there's so many positives to take from this match for the Vikings.
Yeah, there is. We was under no illusions it was a very, very tough task. We've enjoyed the week, we've enjoyed the build-up, we've enjoyed being part of this as well. So it's been massive for obviously Gould Vikings as a club, the whole Gould town and community, and like I said before, for some of these young boys to come out there and enjoy this experience, although getting a bit of an hiding there and being taught a fair few lessons, it's a great learning curve for them there. And we've got a lot of boys who've played a lot of championship rugby and never had the opportunity to come to a place like Warrington and Halliwell Jones. So we're obviously, like I say, under no illusions that it was always going to be a very tough task, but very proud of our lads who've gone out there and worked really hard. And like I say, the likes of Cooper Howlett who's come on there and he scored 2 tries, and something that'll probably live with him for a fair few years. And we've had some really good performances there from some good young lads who have stood up to a very big pack.
Yeah, I mentioned there obviously the Warrington quality they've had throughout this match, but obviously like you said there, Brett, the goal really did cause them some problems at points, and those two tries from Howlett, both coming off kicks, and that just sort of shows that when Gould did lay the platform and they were able to give Miller and Rutland the space they needed to turn Warrington around, they really did have the Wolves sort of running for cover at times.
Yeah, they put themselves in some really good positions, and I think that's probably the disappointing aspect of it, that when they did put themselves in them spots and complete a few sets, they was able to cause quite a few problems for Warrington. That'll be the really pleasing thing for Scott Taylor there, that they've stuck to the task, they've worked really hard, they've stayed as a group really tight, and they're all in this together, and this is what it's all about. We've come on, like I say, such a short journey in the essence of rugby league, but we're out here now mixing it with the big boys, and we get a very special day out for the club as well.
Yeah, so as we just have a look over these second half tries, it was Warrington who are leading 42-6 at the break, just we've seen sort of tries come from all over the team in terms of, obviously we've mentioned Irwin sort of orchestrating things around the pack, and Jake Thewlis scoring twice in one corner, Josh Smith likewise in that left centre position, but the start of the second half, James Harrison just sort of straight down the middle, but then again, once again, Hopawati, who didn't really get much ball in that first half, but then as soon as you get sort of given a sniff in the second half, he hands it on to Local Webster, who a debut try for the Warrington winger, and obviously given what he's shown so far today, he's really put his hand up for a potential for that debut, for the second appearance and a Super League debut down the line.
Yeah, he has. I don't think any of these young boys have done themselves any harm or any discredit to giving themselves an opportunity this year, and I'm sure that the Warrington will need to rely on these young kids some stage in this season. But yeah, I think chalk and cheese left and right. The left-hand side was very, very good in that first half. Like I said, with the dominant voice of George Williams, and just control that game. But flip that to the second half, and Hopawati got involved more, and young Webster on the wing as well. And I think you could see Irwin just growed into that game, and that's obviously why he was man of the match as well. He was first class with a boot, but his organisation skills and running game was very, very good.
Yeah, as he just coming over to this left-hand side as well, just in front of us here in the commentary box, as we take a look over the rest of these second half tries. But then obviously after those two sort of quick fire tries straight out the gate from the Wolves, it was goal hitting straight back, and once again off a kick, and this time Callum Rutland putting boot to ball, and Cooper Howlett once again there to finish. Yeah,
a lovely little cell play there, and then give himself some opportunity. Great little kick there from Callum Rutland. He's got a lovely little kicking game as Cal, and Cooper Howlett on the end of it again, like he did in the first half, and 2 tries from 2 kicks, and just shows what Gould could do when they got themselves in the right position and territory.
Yeah, we saw Rutland. It was pretty much all Miller in terms of the kicking game in that first half, but Rutland, obviously, I think, with obviously the pressure being put on Miller, obviously Warrington knowing that he's sort of the man in terms of kicking for goal. But yeah, Rutland, as you mentioned, really sort of trying to turn the defence around, and doing so pretty successfully on occasion. But obviously not long after they'd hit back goals through that try from. It's once again Hartel going from dummy half, and once we mentioned obviously the sort of strength in depth, and you said obviously it's a bit of a Danny Walker clone, and it's a try that Walker we've seen dozens of times in Super League.
Yeah, I think you could just see that Ben Hartel seems to he's moulded his game a little bit on what Walker's doing, and that's a great example for a young kid to follow in the footsteps of what someone's doing in front of you at the moment. And Danny Walker's very, very quick out of there. He's very effective in what he does, and Hartel did exactly the same when he came on. He ran out of there, he caused lots of issues and brought the forwards onto the ball, and a lot of deception round 9, and deserved his try. Yeah,
likewise Leon Hayes in terms of deception, really sort of shaping to go to that left hand side, having replaced Williams, and obviously having Thewlis out the back as well, obviously knowing he can hand it on, but then dummying just as Josh Thewlis did in the first half. And yeah, just sort of a lot of furrowed arms there from the goal defence, which was really starting to tire at this point.
Yeah, what I did really like about the Leon Hayes and young Irwin as well is there was happy to run with the ball. There was a real threat with the ball. They took the goal defence on quite a lot of times and caused them a lot of issues. Great spill. This one here obviously coming from Irwin, straight off the scrum, a lovely ball, great feet. Obviously turns it Tomlinson inside out, and the pace to go around Guzbek as well just shows his class in what he can do.
Yeah, Irwin dummying straight through today's man of the match, and we're gonna hopefully be able to speak to him post-match too, which will get a real insight into just how he is moulding his match after he slalom straight through for the penultimate Warrington try before they finally close things out. The Wolves with another confident finish in the corner. Jake Thewlis finishing things off after being set up by his brother Josh, and obviously having scored obviously in the first half it was a bit of a mixed bag for Jake Fields in terms of a flying finish, but then dropped one cold right in the corner, but making no mistake at this time, right as at the end of the half.
Yeah, he'll probably be kicking himself out of that, won't he? Probably win the hat-trick try, but yeah, just nice shape, and obviously Jake comes out the back and Josh comes out the back and feeds Jake, and a really nice try to finish the game for him.
Yeah, so as we bring the curtain down on this Challenge Cup 4th round tie, we're going to get to speak to two of the standout players in the match so far, as we touched on the players who really impressed from a goal perspective. It's really been plenty of positives to take out from a goal perspective, and the likes of Howlett, who we're about to hear from as well. But who are the other sort of goal players who you think really stood up there? Obviously we saw Liam Watts sort of roll back the years at times, and particularly that interception, but also really fronting up and trying to lead the defence.
Yeah, I think Watts was great in the middle for us. He carried the ball very well and was really good defensively as well. I thought Connor Barley was brilliant out of backfield. He carried the ball really, really strong and got us out some really tricky spots there. And I think Halliday came on, he did a good job and diffused a few kicks there. And I think all around not a bad performance. I think obviously it's disappointing with the scoreline, it's blown out like that, but a real good effort from Go Vikings and our boys there. We've got a lot of lads who work really hard all this week, and they do their day jobs, and some of them have been working even like this morning and late last night. So it's a credit to them that they've stood up there tall with some very good players.
So as we get ready for the next round, we're going to speak to Ewan Irwin and Connor Howlett of Go Vikings first up.
Brilliant centre Cooper Howlett is with us after a defeat here in Warrington against the Wolves, but the Vikings put up a plucky fight there, Cooper.
We did, mate. I don't really know what our expectations were. It was more just to put it all out there, and I feel like the scoreline doesn't exactly show what we did leave out there, and so I think there's plenty of things for us to build on, and it puts us in good stead for our next 4 league games coming up.
You bagged yourself a couple of tries as well, so I'm sure you're pleased with that.
Yeah, it looks good on the tally, but they're both off kicks, so I can't really take too much credit for them.
And obviously it's your first experience of coming up against players of this calibre. You've got people like George Williams, the England captain, out there. The golfing class is significant, so how did you find that step?
Honestly, if anything, it just proved to myself, and I'm sure to a lot of the other boys too, that we probably can handle ourselves. Obviously, when there's 13 of people at that calibre on the field, it makes it a bit difficult, but honestly, I think we take positives out of it. We all showed that we can knock it with the big boys to a degree.
Warrington have made an incredible start to the season. They're unbeaten actually across all of the different age grades, which is quite a start.
Yeah.
But for you guys in the Vikings, now you've tested yourself against the best.
Exactly.
What will this mean for the rest of the season for you now?
Honestly, hopefully it just again puts us in good stead. We've got winnable games coming up. The way the league's structured, I'm sure everyone knows top 10 teams, so there's no reason why we can't be one of those top 10 teams, and hopefully in a month's time we'll just look forward, and this will have put us in good stead again for those 4 wins coming up. Well
done, Cooper. Congratulations on the 2 tries, and we're going to bring in the man of the match as well next. So well done, mate, and have a good trip back
yes,
to Gull. The man of the match today, Ewan Irwin. He's with us now. Nice to see you, young man. Although ageing very quickly in this side, there's been a lot of talk about you over the last few weeks, and once again you've gone out there and you've really impressed on the big stage.
Yeah, it was good. It was good to get out there. It's been a long pre-season. Just want to get out there, play some rugby, have fun. Sun's shining in it, so get out there. With some of the lads, I really enjoyed it.
The Vikings put the gloves up a few times throughout the game, and I know Sam and Scott have been talking in the week, and he'll have given you the lowdown on what Scott and his team are all about. Did they surprise you there today?
Yeah, I mean they were very good. They were very good. They started to ease probably later after the game, but they got two good tries on us. We probably need to fix up, but yeah, they're a good team, a good solid team, and they've travelled a long way, so appreciate it.
You've made an incredible start as a team and as a club. I mean, you've come through the academy ranks here as well, so you know what it means. Every team, it seems, has been unbeaten so far this season. It feels like this might be, dare I say it, Warrington's year on current form.
Oh, look, good question, innit? But no, we're just trying to take it game by game, really, I think, and we're just enjoying it, just enjoying rugby as a club. That's all we've got to do. Turn up, turn to train every week, and then play some good rugby on the weekend. So.
You bagged yourself a nice try, a couple of assists. You kicked impeccably well with a couple of tough touchline ones as well. What was the story and what will you take from today's game?
I don't know, we took a lot from it, to be fair. We had some really good shape, and defensively we were very good. I mean, letting in them 2 probably soft tries, I reckon, but on a whole I think it was a good day for us. We'll definitely have a lot to tidy up, I reckon.
And as a young halfback, coming through and playing with the calibre of players you are, you were in a pretty experienced spine there today. That must really whet your appetite for a taste of the big leagues back in Super League.
Yeah, it's perfect, isn't it? Perfect to have people like George, Fearless. Kai's obviously out at the minute, but they're very good people to learn off. Obviously Sam as well, so just trying to learn each week and see what comes of it.
Well done, mate. Played really well today. Congratulations. Yeah. Best of luck in the Cup.
Thanks very much.
Well, that's what the two standout players of this match had to say, Ewan Irwin and Cooper Howlett from the Warrington Wolves and Gull Vikings respectively. But it is the Wolves who head into the fourth round of the Betfred Challenge Cup with a 78 points to 10 win over the Vikings here at the Halliwell Jones Stadium. Thanks for being with us here on Clubber TV to watch all the action, a high scoring game at the Halliwell Jones, and that is exactly what Warrington were hoping for as they look to go back to Wembley with potentially a better result this time around. That's all we've got time for today on Clubber TV. We'll see you very soon for the next game. Thanks for now.